I love you so much, you know that. And I appreciate the fact that I can have those direct discussions with you, because I know I don't need Esther.
Next. It's true of all of you. It's true of all of you.
Yeah. But I find it helpful to clarify some things. And I'm a deliberate creator. I just love to create.
You were born to be a deliberate creator, and nothing else will do. Nothing else will do.
And the more I study everything that you say, and that I'm, the more I'm being aligned with who I really am, I can really be a better creator. And lately I've created a big project with many co-creators.
Let's not call it a better creator. Let's call it a more consistent creator.
Yeah.
A
more emotional creator.
More aware, more expectant.
Yeah.
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 All of you create your own reality, but doing it on purpose is so much more fun.
Indeed. Yeah. So I was, I received all the thoughts, and I decided to create a project. And every morning I would be inspired by names or people I wanted to work with. So I knew I felt them, And one day I decided to do a meeting with all those people, and they all came, and we all agreed on working on that project. So it became like a nice project with different agreements and different responsibilities for everyone. And a few months later...
Well, that's a humdinger of a meeting right there. Because what that's doing, that's sort of putting law of attraction on fast forward and hyperspeed.
Really?
In other words, well, we're just asking, of course you want to start out with agreements, and we're not suggesting that there's anything that you need to do differently. We just want to stick this into this conversation.
Okay.
So the idea comes about the project, and you could feel the power of it and the absence of resistance. Then, if you're a normal person, as you try to jump into it too fast, then you feel resistance. And so then you back away from it, and then the idea comes again. If you jump in it too fast, then it doesn't feel so good, and you back away from it. If the idea comes again, in other words, so let's say the idea came, and the inspiration to make the phone calls and to gather up the people and to have the conversation. We just want to encourage you to allow any project to unfold in the same way that the initial ideas about it did. Because there's a tendency to jump into the action part of it before the energy has really done the work that the energy can do, and then it's a bumpier ride than it needs to be. If you just decide, I'm not going to do anything that isn't inspired, and I'm going to do everything that is inspired, and I'm going to let the action kind of take care of itself. I'm not going to do the action in order to make things happen, unless the action is so compelling that I just can't stop myself from doing it. Yeah.
Maybe I need help on that, because when it implies a lot of activities...
So how's it going? If it's going
well,
really...
it was going well. I mean, the project was perfect.
Well, then it all is perfect.
Okay, yeah. And so some of the co-creators wanted to disengage themselves. So at first, I met a few ones, and I said, okay, let's find a win-win situation, because the project will be, there's...
So are you saying to us that the project continued to evolve?
Yeah.
And that your original thoughts about it wouldn't hold it all the way? That you had to allow new inspiration to continue to come?
That's correct. And people to move. Yeah. So I was okay with that. And then I got a little bit scared, because there's a budget and there's money involved. And then I
But this is what we're talking about.
I know.
It's all right.
Yeah.
But here's the statement that we'd like to make for you to all hear. It feels like the whole point of the deliberate creation and the whole point of the project is to be able to jump into action as quickly as possible. And what we're wanting you to do is cool your jets just a little bit. And instead of being so eager to jump into action, enjoy the unfolding and the inspired action. And we know it's a fine line between jumping into action to make something happen and then being inspired to the action because the energy has already made it happen. In other words, it's about, oh, here it is. It's about how ripe is it before I pluck it? So when the idea came, it was ripe. But now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? You know that feeling of inspiration. Do you know that feeling? You know that feeling of an idea hatching and it being so big that it really feels exciting to you when it first comes. And then if you're normal, once that happens, once you hatch that, once you receive that, then your mind, human mind, we love you so much, you want to jump ahead and figure out how, where, when, who. Instead of just let the idea be and let the how and the where and the when and the who and the let it be inspired too. As soon as the idea comes, you want to jump right into implementation mode through the action part of it. So call everybody, have a meeting, set the rules, where if you could just hold off just a little while until each idea that comes feels as good as the original idea, then that's how the thoughts turn to things. So what we're talking about is, as humans, you want to set a goal and you want to jump into action usually too soon. As non-physical, you want to have a desire or set a goal. Those words are fine. Set a goal and then let the cooperative universe reveal itself to you. So, am I the finder of the cooperative components or am I the allower of the cooperative components? Am I out there digging for the diamond in the bushes or am I just taking a walk and the diamond in the bushes is showing itself to me? Am I making things happen or am I letting things happen? Am I allowing this project to unfold? What usually happens, we can just give you a few words that help you know the difference between what you're doing. If you're trying to prove worthiness through your behavior, or if you're accepting your worthiness and you're just letting your worthiness wash all over you in a variety of ways. If you're in a shortage consciousness, which means got to make this happen fast because I'm in need, or I'm in an abundance consciousness, which means it will unfold as whatever I need will come. You can sort of feel the difference, can't you?
I feel grateful and I appreciate that project because it's bringing me to that feeling like someone just left and I didn't want to resist, like I couldn't.
Well, in the same way that our friend lost his contact, and his contact search led him to a big piece of something that he's been wondering about. So everything that happens, even when it happens in a way that you don't think you want, it is leading to something more. Yeah. And there are two things that we want to say to you. Slow down in the action part. Just slow down in the action part. Let the impulse to act build until you can't not act. That's really what we're saying. Until wild horses cannot keep you from the clarity that you've come to. And the most important thing is realizing that through the contrast is coming the clarity. And when the clarity is profound, then act. But don't act to accomplish the clarity. Clarity and then action. Alignment and then action.
Okay. But there's also the responsibility part, or I'm wondering, like, should I be always respecting myself? Like, sometimes, like in that contract situation, I felt that that person wasn't respecting the agreement, but I didn't feel like arguing. Like I just felt like, oh, I don't want to go there.
But that speaks precisely to what we are talking about jumping into the action agreement part of it before the vibration had taken care of it. Because this is always true. If you have taken care of it vibrationally, there's a vibrational agreement that would keep anything like that from happening. But if you're trying to orchestrate the agreement on paper and you're not considering alignment, then there's not a piece of paper strong enough to hold people to the intentions that you think that they had established.
I got it.
You got to let the attorney stuff be worked out in the vortex. Because if you work it out after the fact, it doesn't go so well. Next, we want to say to you that nothing has gone wrong and that it is a natural unfolding, and in every day of your life experience. So this is the way it works. Contrast causes you to put stuff in the vortex, but you're not up to speed with that because it's a contrast that gave birth to it. So now you think about that and you come into alignment with that, and that feels more natural and more normal. And so now you're standing over here and you're in the receptive mode, and now because you're in the receptive mode, now the manifestation occurs because in your reception you've turned those thoughts to things. Boom. So here you stand in this new manifestation with a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which cause you to give birth to another rocket of desire, which at first you're not up to speed with because you're over here knowing what you don't want, but you contemplate it and you look at it and you become a vibrational match to it, and now you're moving and moving and moving, and now you're inside that vortex, you're in the receiving mode, and because you're in the receiving mode, now it's unfolding, you're realizing it, your thoughts are turning to things, boom, now you have another manifestation, and a whole new set of contrasting experiences, which are causing you to put more, and on and on and on and on and on it goes. There's no wrongdoing. There's nothing that you're doing wrong. How do you know that you moved too fast until you've experienced yourself moving too fast? How do you know that you weren't in perfect alignment until it turns out not so good? How do you know? And have you lost anything? No. Have you gained something? Knowledge and understanding of how the universe works and how you work with it. The most important thing. So think about being a wire walker, and you're going to walk on a wire at great height across something, and it's really all on you and your balance. There are no wires that are more special than others. Wire walker doesn't fall and then complain that the wire was twisted funny. Finding your balance is all that is required in that, finding your balance. And don't walk across high places until you know you've found your balance. But there's no high place that you walked across. There was no risk, there was no danger. In the beginning, you're walking across that wire and it's only a foot off the floor, and you're not very good at finding your balance, but you get better and better and better and better at finding your balance. And so what happens is sometimes deliberate creators like you want to raise the stakes higher and higher because you think it will make you focus better. It doesn't. You don't focus better at higher risk. So that's why we're saying, don't be so eager to jump into action. Let life help you find that clarity. And when you find that clarity, it's the clarity that you want, not the project. It's the clarity you want, not the agreements. It's the clarity you want. Because when you've got clarity, then you know what to do next and next and next and next and next and next. Is that helpful to you?
It is indeed. And I just want to share like a clarity moment that I received while I was meditating. I could hear, love yourself as much as we love you. And that was so pure. Yeah. I could feel the love.
Yeah.
And then I heard that love would bring me like in a constant joy state. And that joy state brings me into the freedom of being really who I am. And then I could see myself dancing, and it was dance, a bounce, dance, a bounce, dance, a bounce. And I heard abundance. So it's like if I felt and I had clarity about abundance, and I wanted to share that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And interesting the way you were led to that. Isn't it interesting the way the universe and your inner being, everyone's standing on our heads in order to help you find the clarity that is within you. Really good conversation. This is a good time for a segment of refreshment.